In 2001, the first installment of the Harry Potter saga, adapted from a series of novels by J.K. Rowling, was released in theaters. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, also known as Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, launched the careers of several actors. Where are they today? Harry Melling. Harry Potter's cousin isn't the nicest of characters, and 10-year-old actor Harry Melling found the role a challenge at the time. After all, it was his first film. Melling reprised his role 4 more times over the course of the series, but came close to being replaced for the last episode after losing a lot of weight. He ended up having to wear a fat suit. Audiences have seen this actor, perhaps without recognizing him, most recently in the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit and the movie The Old Guard. Harry Melling has been acting in movies and on stage since that first role in 2001, and will portray writer Edgar Allan Poe in The Pale Blue Eye. Richard Griffiths. Richard Griffiths had a prolific career in England before landing the role of Vernon Dursley, the unpleasant uncle with whom Harry lives. In fact, he portrayed Inspector Henry Crabbe in Pie in the Sky. Fiona Shaw. Of Irish origin, Fiona Shaw shone on stage, screen, and TV before landing the role of Aunt Petunia, the sister of Harry Potter's mother who reluctantly agrees to take in her orphaned nephew. Since 2001, Fiona Shaw has performed on the big and small screens and in the theatre. She was lauded for her interpretation of Carolyn Martins in the series Killing Eve. In fact, she received a BAFTA award and an Emmy nomination for this role. Bonnie Wright. Molly and Arthur Weasley's youngest child, Ginny, does not yet attend Hogwarts in the first installment. That doesn't stop her from developing a crush on Harry, though. Bonnie Wright had no acting experience, aside from some obscure school plays, before she was cast as Ginny at just 9 years old. Her brother actually told her that she reminded him of the little redhead in the book. Bonnie Wright has not been idle since the Harry Potter saga ended. She's been busy shooting and producing several short films, the first of which, Separate We Come, Separate We Go, was presented at Cannes. She's also directed music videos, modeled, and been actively involved in various organizations concerned with protecting the environment, including Greenpeace. Julie Walters. Julie Walters was far from inexperienced when she got the role of Molly, the Weasley mom who shows such affection for Harry. She has long worked in London's famous West End theatres and been seen on TV and in film, including Billy Elliot. While appearing in the Harry Potter saga, Julie Walters also took on numerous film roles, performing in Mamma Mia, both Paddingtons, Brave, Brooklyn, and Mary Poppins Returns. She was appointed Dame by the Queen of England in 2017 for her contributions to the arts and has battled and beaten bowel cancer in the last few years. John Cleese. John Cleese plays a small, almost fleeting, role in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone as the ghost Nearly Headless Nick. Older viewers will certainly recognize the famous Monty Python alum. In fact, Cleese plays the Spectre for just over 30 seconds in the first movie. Cleese voiced the Frog King in the last 3 animated Shrek movies, has starred in a ton of films and series, has written, directed, and produced TV content, short films, and documentaries, and has been involved with Amnesty International since 1976. David Bradley. David Bradley began his screen career in 1971 and had quite a resume when he took on the role of Argus Filch, Hogwarts' grumpy caretaker. He was even a member of the famous Royal Shakespeare Company. More mature audiences will certainly have spotted David Bradley in Game of Thrones as the evil Valder Frey, one of the most hated characters in the series. The actor also lent his voice to the Netflix show Troll Hunters as well as a series of audio stories from the Doctor Who universe. James and Oliver Phelps. To get the roles of twins Fred and George, the Weasley family's notorious troublemakers, James and Oliver Phelps played hooky from school to audition in secret. They had zero acting experience at the time. Since Harry Potter, James and Oliver have landed, still together, a few roles, but have been particularly active on YouTube, where they jointly host a podcast called Normal Not Normal. They also contribute to the Teenage Cancer Trust, a cause they hold close to their hearts. Tom Felton. Before winning the role of Draco Malfoy, Harry Potter's sworn enemy, Tom Felton auditioned to play Harry and Ron Weasley. He hadn't read the books when he showed up for the casting call. Maybe that explains it. The versatile Tom Felton has since starred in action blockbusters, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, independent films, From the Rough, The Apparition, and period pieces, Belle. He had a recurring role in the superhero TV series The Flash and the science fiction series Origin. He's also a practicing musician. Matthew Lewis. Matthew Lewis started acting on TV at only 5 years of age in Some Kind of Life. As a fan of the Harry Potter novels, he attended open auditions hoping to be chosen. After 2 months of waiting and a screen test with director Chris Columbus, his dream of playing Neville Longbottom came true. Despite struggles to shake off his association with Neville, whom he played in all 8 films of the saga, Lewis has acted on both the big and small screen, as well as on the London stage in Our Boys and Unfaithful. His most recent appearance is as Hugh Hulton in the British historical series All Creatures Great and Small. Robbie Coltrane. Hagrid, Hogwarts' friendly groundskeeper, would have looked a lot different if the film's director, Chris Columbus, had had a say in the casting. Indeed, none other than Robin Williams, a big fan of the books, had expressed interest in portraying the character. J.K. Rowling required that all actors be English, Irish, or Scottish, however, so the role went to the author's first choice, Robbie Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane was already enjoying a successful career when hired for the Harry Potter saga. Once filming wrapped up on the final installment, he took on roles in several TV series, National Treasure, Cracker, Urban Myths, and lent his voice to several children's films, including Brave. He unfortunately passed away in 2022. John Hurt. With his distinctive voice and extensive film experience, John Hurt adds just the right amount of mystery and intrigue to Mr. Garrick Ollivander, the wandmaker who seems to know more about Harry than he lets on. Describing himself as an actor for hire, John Hurt appeared in no fewer than 140 roles in his career. He died at age 77 in 2017, leaving behind a list of credits including the film Snowpiercer and the series Doctor Who, The Last Panthers, and Merlin. Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis has worked in the film industry since the age of 11 and already had a number of major roles under his belt, including Star Wars, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi and Willow, when he was offered the role of Charms Master Phileas Flitwick. Interestingly, Davis's appearance in the first film differs radically from that in subsequent installments. He was aged with prosthetics and a wig in film number 1, while from the 3rd episode onward he looked younger and less like a goblin. The changes were thanks to a new director. Warwick Davis continued his involvement with the Star Wars franchise by lending his voice to Rook in Star Wars, Rebels as well as Sniff in Moomin Valley. In 2022, he will reprise his role of Willow Ufgood in a TV series based on the film. Ian Hart. Ian Hart wasn't the only actor who auditioned for the character of Professor Quirinus Quirrell, Hogwarts' newest teacher who hides a mystery under his gigantic turban. In fact, David Thewlis had expressed interest in the role. The latter ended up portraying Remus Lupin, a character we meet in the 3rd film. In addition to acting in the theatre, Ian Hart has also landed roles in several television series, including Luck, Rogue, The Bridge, Boardwalk Empire, The Terror, and The Last Kingdom. Alan Rickman. Well known to movie lovers, Alan Rickman owes his presence in the Harry Potter series to none other than Tim Roth. The latter had refused the role of Severus Snape to work with Tim Burton, granting Rickman the chance to play the super-strict potions master. After making 2 films in the Harry Potter series, Rickman almost quit the saga, but J.K. Rowling told him the secret behind the word always and convinced him to stay. Fans will have caught that reference to Lily Potter. Sadly, the actor died of pancreatic cancer in 2016, but not before leaving his mark on the theatre and cinema. Richard Harris. Accustomed to more historical roles, King Arthur, Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a maverick in a Clint Eastwood western, Richard Harris nevertheless agreed to play Albus Dumbledore, Hogwarts' wise headmaster. Harris's granddaughter had begged him to accept the role of Albus Dumbledore, and happily, he granted her wish. Unfortunately, he died shortly before the release of the second installment, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Ian McKellen declined to take over the role, so it was Irish actor Michael Gambon who donned the wizard's robes for the last 6 films of the series. Maggie Smith. Maggie Smith was a natural choice for the role of Minerva McGonagall, head of Gryffindor House and Transfiguration Professor. This great lady of theatre and film began her career in the 1950s, providing her with all the presence and gentle authority required for the role. Maggie Smith has notably played Violet Crawley, clan matriarch in the series Downton Abbey, a role that she reprised in 2 subsequent films based on the series. Rupert Grint. Rupert Grint used an original tactic to audition for the role of Ron Weasley, Harry's best friend. Dressed up like a primary school teacher, he filmed himself singing a rap about his wish to be in the feature film. Despite only minor experience in school plays, Grint was given the chance to bring the character to life. Landing that role was the beginning of a great career for Grint. In addition to the Harry Potter saga, which he did not watch in full, he's appeared in several films and TV series, worked in the theatre, and even narrated a show at the National Space Center. Emma Watson. Despite having no screen experience at the time of her audition for the role of Hermione Granger, Harry's brave and clever witch friend, Emma Watson had been trained as an actress. Indeed, she had been taking acting, dancing, and singing lessons from the age of 6. Emma Watson is now one of the highest-paid actresses in the world, thanks in part to her role as Belle in the live-action version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. She is also a goodwill ambassador for UN Women and advocates for gender equality and sustainable fashion. Daniel Radcliffe. To find the right Harry Potter, Chris Columbus and casting director Janet Hirse Henson had to check off a lot of boxes. He had to be the right age, British, and have green eyes. Columbus reportedly chose Daniel Radcliffe after seeing him in the series David Copperfield, and according to the actor, Maggie Smith, with whom he had worked, may have also influenced the decision. To avoid being typecast once the saga ended and show that he had matured, Daniel Radcliffe chose to portray characters that differed greatly from Harry Potter. He started with the horror movie The Woman in Black. He then proved his acting versatility in Swiss Army Man and Imperium as well as on London and Broadway stages in 2007's Equus.